Hello model railroad fans. In today's video we're going to take a look at this Bachmann F7 diesel locomotive. This one is equipped with not just DCC but DCC sound value, which is more of a budget version of DCC sound. So give me just 1 second and let's take a closer look. I'll be right back. Alright, well let me start off by saying welcome and thank you for joining me today here at Vintage Road and Rail. As I'd said at the outset, we've got a Bachmann locomotive. This is a Pennsylvania F7 diesel locomotive, and it's equipped with DCC and sound. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box, and we're going to take a closer look at it. And basically we're just going to do an unboxing and a little overview of it, and I'm going to run it around the track here a little bit, but at the end of the video you'll want to make sure and stick around because I've got some additional footage. One is I took the other day of this pulling 20 cars on my track here, and I also went up to the rail club and run it a little bit up there as well, so you'll want to stick around for that. But anyway, let's start getting this unboxed. And before we unbox it, let's kind of go around the box here and take a quick look. So this is, I'm sorry, I got a light right above me here, so I'll have to try to watch the glare. But this is the front of the box. And for full disclosure, I bought this used. This is not brand new, but I really enjoyed running this locomotive, so I thought I would do a video on it. Alright, and here's the other side. I'm not going to read it, but I'll kind of pan slowly, and you can pause and take a quick look at it. The only thing that I will note that I didn't see is it just says CAN motor. It doesn't tell me if this is going to be a 3-pole or 5-pole. I'm willing to bet 3-pole. And here is this part here, if it will focus in. There it goes. So this is F7A diesel with DCC sound, Pennsylvania, and it has a single stripe. I don't know all the variations of Pennsylvania. I'm not very familiar with it, but I think they also have triple stripe or 3 stripes. Alright, and up here we just have more of the same of what we saw on the other side, so I'll just kind of go over that quickly. And on the back we basically just got an advertisement for their DCC controller. Alright, so that is the packaging. Alright, so I'm going to open it up from this end, and like I said, this is used. I think I paid 60 bucks for it, so that is not a typical price you would probably expect to pay, especially if you found it new somewhere. Alright, so here is the inner packaging, the part that actually secures the locomotive in place, and basically it's just held in place right here by this, I just call it a tab. I have no idea what its official name is, but that kind of locks it in place. So let's set this down on the track here, and let's pop that tab, and when we lift it up, that frees up the locomotive, and we can lift it straight out here. And we're going to set that aside for just a moment. So nothing extraordinary about the packaging, but we do have a little bit of additional, like, softer plastic right here, just to kind of protect it and keep, and there's some on this end too, just to keep it from rubbing around in there. Alright, now let's grab the locomotive. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab this little box, see if it gets a little bit closer without me having to hold it. Well, forget that. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so here's our locomotive, and we'll start here from this side view, and I'm going to have to find a better way of doing this in the future. But we see our trucks here, and this is going to have 2 axles on each truck, and we've got a grill here. This is all just molded in and painted, so it's not see-through like some of the fancier locomotives out there. But we have a couple of windows and some more molded in detail here, and we've got windows right here where you can see into the cab, and we've got a little silver highlight here, and here's our single stripe with Pennsylvania and the Pennsylvania logo here. Here's our fuel tank, and we got some ladders and a little bit of silver paint right around here. All right, so let's move over to the back. All right, we've got some more molded in detail and a little door here, and I don't think there's a, nope, there is no window. You can just poke, look, and stick that pencil right in there. And here's our Mark II Bachmann coupler. So we'll go around to the other side, and pretty much identical to the other side. But I just noticed there are drivers. There's an engineer in there. Let me take this away from the camera for just a second so I can get a better look. Okay. All right, so we have an engineer, and then we have, I don't know if that's another engineer or an assistant or what they're called. It's not a steam locomotive, so I don't guess we'll call them a fireman. If someone wants to help me out in the comments, I would certainly appreciate it. All right, but anyway, back to this side. Pretty much identical to the other one. Excuse me. And then on the front, get it back in focus here, we got our Mark II coupler, our Pennsylvania logo, and we've got one single headlight. And if we can turn this and get it in focus, you can see our 2 guys hanging out in there. And then we got some windshield wipers. And I don't know if I pointed out, but our headlight. One thing I'm a little irritated by is there's no number on the number board. I think that's a bit stupid, but I'm going to try to find some decals or some stickers or something that I can put on there so it'll have some kind of number. It may not be prototypical, but at least it'll be something that I can program it to other than 3 when I'm up at the club. And here is the bottom, and you can see the DCC sound logo. Now this is sound value, so it's only going to have a handful of sounds as compared to what you would get with, like, say, an Athearn Genesis or something like that. Alright, so here is our top. Last thing we'll look at, we got our 2 horns. They're both there and in good shape. And we got our larger fan for smaller fans. And we have nothing here. Now, my last video, we looked at a Tyco F9, and it looked almost identical, but it had something here. And let me reach over. I meant to bring this with me, and I left it over here. I have this lifelike Campbell's F7, and it has some detail here. And my understanding is this is the steam generator when it's used for passenger service. So I'm thinking that this is going to be used for freight. All right, well, that is the quick walk around of the video. So I'm going to stop it right here, and we're going to get her loaded up on the track, and we're going to attach a few cars, let it make a couple of laps, and then that will pretty much wrap up this portion of the video. But like I said, stay tuned, because at the end I'm going to attach some footage of me running it on this table with 20 cars and then up there at the club. So give me one moment and I'll be right back. Alright, I am back, and we have got our F7 locomotive loaded up here on the track. So let me go ahead and hit the power on this DCC controller, and we should hear her come to life. And there she is. Alright, so it's sitting here running at idle. It sounds pretty good, but this is the only DCC sound locomotive I've got, so I really don't have a lot to compare it with. But my understanding is that the sound would probably be better on a more high-end locomotive. And the other thing is, when you put this on the track and give it power, it's sitting at idle. You don't have a startup routine. I have seen a couple at the train club that they actually can start up the locomotive sounds, and it sounds like the locomotive is starting up and then goes to idle. All right, so let's cycle through our features. So we're going to hit the function button, and 1 will give us a bell. And I believe 2 is a longhorn. So you have to stop it or it'll go on forever. 3 is going to be a short horn. And you only have 10 buttons on this Bachmann controller, so 4 is a whole lot of nothing. 5 is also nothing. 6 doesn't do anything. We're going to skip 7 and come back to that because I want to see something. But if we hit 8, that mutes the locomotive, so we're going to turn it back on. 9 is nothing. And 10 will turn on our headlights. And I'm going to back it up here. So hopefully you can see the light going there in the front there. And we're going to see if F7 dims it. Okay, not with this Bachmann controller. I had it up there on the club layout last night, and if you hit F7 with our Digitrack system, it would dim the light on the locomotive. Alright, so let's turn off the function keys, and I'm going to put it in forward, and I'm going to grab the camera off of the tripod. I'm going to set that aside, and there is the locomotive, and we're going to hook up to this line of cars here. Alright, so I'm going to go forward past the switch. Before we do that, let's just kind of see how good our slow speed is. Alright, let's start giving it some power. I have no idea of the steps because the Bachmann Easy controller doesn't say. But there it starts. And you heard it throttle up just a bit, and it is going at a pretty slow crawl. My understanding is that's not bad. So let's speed it up a little. And it should throttle up here in a second. There it goes. I'm going to pull it at max. Whoa! And that's as fast as she goes. Alright, so let's hook up some cars. Let's put it in reverse. Now, did she couple? She did. Alright, so let's bring her on out slowly. And she is moving really slow. I'm really impressed. I don't know how impressive that is compared to, say, an Athearn Genesis or scale trains or something like that, but compared to what I normally see with my DC stuff, that is a crawl. Alright, let's kick it up a little bit and let's get on out of this, onto the main line here. And there she goes. I'm only going to film about a lap at this because I don't want this video to go to ridiculous lengths, because I want to put that extra footage on there and as much of it as I can. Let's flip the switch here. Let's just come across the table here. And there she is. A Bachmann, Pennsylvania F7 diesel locomotive, DCC with DCC sound. However, it is the value version. But I think I got my $60 worth. Let me know if you think so as well in the comments. Alright, well, I am going to stop the video right here. And like I said, there's going to be some footage following immediately after, so be sure and check that out. But I would like to thank you very much for joining me here. And if you enjoyed this and want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, leave me a comment. If you've got this locomotive or one in a different scheme, I'd like to hear all about it. Alright, well, thank you very much again for joining me, and happy model railroading.
I think I was 70.